Welcome back. So this is season 2 of the Two Into You podcast. My name is Mary Hayes.
And I'm Madeline Campbell.
So this is the show where we explore feminism, equality. We talk about the difference between love that lifts you up and love that holds you back. And we're here to help you spot when someone is too into you. We want to help all of our listeners feel empowered and respected in their relationships and every aspect of their life.
So last season, we spoke all about red flags. We talked about what green flags in relationships are. We highlighted different experiences of abuse and boundaries and consent. And this year and this season, we're going to be chatting about what it's like to be a girl and a woman in the world today, what dating is like for young people. We're going to dive deeper into red flags of abuse, and we're going to be highlighting the powerful voices from across the country.
We're going to have a really good mix of some familiar voices that you may have heard from before, newer ones. We're really excited to have lots of good chats this season. And we also really want to get to know our listeners. So please do comment and leave us a review. We want to read out some comments and reviews from our listeners and hear about what it is you guys want to hear about as well. So before we kick off, remember, if you're worried about your own relationship or even a friend's relationship, you can call the Women's Aid 24-hour national free phone helpline. It's on 1-800-341-900, or you can use the chat service at twointoyou.ie. Both are free and completely confidential. So let's get started.
Today we're joined by Destiny Ayo Vaughan and Ginny Maguire. Ginny Maguire is a writer, campaigner, and commentator. Having previously served as president of Trinity Students Union, she is now a columnist for the Irish Independent. Ginny is also co-organiser of Trans and Intersex Pride Dublin.
And we're also joined by Destiny Ayo Vaughan, who is a clinical psychology student at Queen's University Belfast, a recognised social entrepreneur, TEDx speaker, founder of Mind the Gap Ireland, and award-winning activist. As a survivor of child abuse, trafficking, and the foster care system, she has transformed her lived experience into a catalyst for national change. Today we'll be chatting about what it's like to be a young woman in the world today, what messages young women are learning about dating and relationships, and what brings them hope for the future of women's rights. Jenny and Destiny, welcome to the Two Into You podcast. We're so happy to have you both here today. So how are you both feeling?
I'm so excited to be here.
Okay, great. Do you want to tell us a little bit about yourself? Who are you? What are you about?
When I always describe myself, I always start off with I'm studying clinical psychologist. I'm doing my 4th degree in it. It's 9 years long. So it's very traumatizing experience. And I am a social enterprise in Mind the Gap Ireland. I'm currently doing that. I've done it for, I think, 9 years now.
Wow.
I started it back when I was 19. And during my free time, I just love to sleep and watch YouTube, if I'm being honest.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you do a lot, so that's deserved.
Yeah, I think so as well.
Yeah, 4 degrees, I would be tired.
Yeah.
Well.
How do you balance it all?
Yeah.
I don't.
Oh, great. Poorly.
I really don't. I sometimes don't even know if I'm alive.
Yeah. Jenny, tell us a little bit about yourself.
I am a writer. I'm a campaigner. I am a daughter. I am a sister. I am annoying. I like to say I'm annoying for good. And as a former theatre kid, I like to weaponize the horrors of background and musical theatre and try and use that for good.
Well, we're here because it's International Women's Day, and I'm personally very honored to be sitting with 2 women who inspire me. So I wanted to ask, who is a woman that inspires you, or who's someone who inspires your activism?
I always go back to my nana. She's not someone that would consider herself very quote unquote political, but she has lived a life and that has had so many ups and downs, but she still is the funniest person I know, and she's still someone that finds humor and finds joy. And for me, I think she just kind of represents this humanity that I think we all can have access to, and we all do have access to. And I think if we were all a little more like my nana, I think we'd all be better for it. And so I definitely would say my nana. I saw her today.
Beautiful.
Oh, that's really
so
gorgeous.
nice.
Love you, Nana.
For me, it would actually be Meghan Markle. One of the reasons is because I think it takes a lot for a woman who's been bashed so much to still show up for herself, and I have so much respect for that, because I don't think she deserves a lot of the hate that she gets, but I just think that the strength that she shows is something that I wish a lot more women actually had, to still be wanting to be yourself, even though the world is telling you that you shouldn't be.
So this year's International Women's Day theme is rights, justice, action for all women and girls. So what do you think that means to you, like personally? Like, what does that message look like, or what does it feel like for you?
For me, your rights is knowing what you deserve. And when it's not being met, is knowing to fight for it. For me, that's really important. I think sometimes we allow things to happen and we think that we don't deserve to have it, like our rights met. And I think that this team is reminding us, yes, we have every right to fight for yourself. And it doesn't even matter how small it is, because we think some things are really small. And I think it's just a reminder that you should always fight for yourself.
That is so fabulous. I think I completely agree with you.
Thank you. I got it from a book.
I can read. I completely agree with you. And I think so often we are expected to just expect less. I think we are told that we are being demanding, or we are told that we are being greedy, or we're trying to have it all, when really it fundamentally comes down to the individual dignity and humanity that each of us possess and are deserving of possessing and upholding. I think for me the theme is important because it isn't separating quote unquote women's issues from broader struggles. It is recognizing that in all struggles women have always been at the center of it, and they are often facing multiple layers of oppression within any struggle. And I think, say, like, whether it is here closer to home, whether it's for trans women seeking healthcare, whether it is the women in Gaza who continue to face unbelievable horrors, or whether it is a woman trying to get enough money to feed her kids, just anywhere in the world. I think, all of these issues, yes, we talk about intersectionality a lot, but I think a lot of these issues come back to the point that everyone, if people don't have the base, and if women in particular don't have the base to have that support, then we can't actually solve any issue, and we must tackle it horizontally.
It's so interesting as well, the whole idea of like knowing that you deserve your rights, because like just thinking about all the messages that we are given as women, growing up, like that we have to be, quiet and submissive, or we have to, even if we are outspoken, we have to be outspoken in a certain way, that it has to be like palatable or, acceptable, and that we can't be, angry, even though there's so much stuff that we deal with, So yeah, I think for girls to know that they deserve the rights that, women in the past have worked so hard to fight for us to have now is so important. Like, what do you think are the kind of messages that young women are getting as they grow up in the world today, or even in Ireland? What are the things that they're up against, I suppose?
I think you touched on a lot of them, and I think like those ideas of being good and being nice and being quiet and being respectable and not ruffling too many feathers is still something that permeates everywhere. And I think it comes down to like a demonization of femininity, in that if you are not doing femininity a certain way, and if you are not being still this idealized woman, then your opinions and your rights are almost less than. And I think that is what we are slowly going more and more into, and which is terrible. But I think these messages I think there's so many great spaces like 2NTU that are really putting out great work and are really trying to break down the narratives. But then when you have social media companies that are incentivizing like the manosphere and incentivizing these worlds that are causing further division, when ultimately the real power that we have, and that millions of dollars are being put in to try and stop, is that we are all ultimately the same, and that we have each other.
I think the thing that I've noticed is that we get told that don't we have enough? And what I mean by that is like we get told like, well, you fought for so much, like what else do you want? And I think that that's actually very damaging, because I don't actually think that we've done enough. I think there's more that still needs to be done. I think that when we've done enough is when violence doesn't exist for women anymore.
Yeah.
You know, when we don't have to explain why we need to be in the workplace, why there shouldn't be just one female CEO in a company and like, oh, well, we have the one.
Yeah.
But when we have like 10 guys, it's not a problem. Do you know what I mean? Like we still see gender in that way and we still have to fight for it in that way. And I think that having to separate those two things still is why I think the whole don't you have enough is not okay. And I think that we still have to keep fighting for the rights that we don't still have.
There's been such an emphasis over the past decade on the appearance of equality rather than real, true equality. And so you might have the one female CEO, and then every person of color, every person with disability is working the lowest level pay within the institution, and also the majority of women. And so people like to hold up this idea of a world, but then do nothing to actually break down the structural inequalities that create it.
Yeah, well, like look at the caring responsibilities.
Yes.
You know, women still carry the majority of caring responsibilities. They're the ones looking after kids at home. They're the ones who leave work because they have maternity leave.
And even the emotional labor
Yeah,
in the
the emotional
workplace.
labour,
Like,
yeah.
like you are just expected to do this additional work, and like whether it's in the workplace or in the home or in with your flatmates,
Yep.
that like you are just naturally expected to take up this role, and you are not given anything for it.
Yeah, and even with gender-based violence, you know, like that is one of the biggest barriers to equality for women. If we think about it, in Ireland, 1 in 3 women will be psychologically, financially, sexually or physically abused in their lifetime. So, you know, you can have all the rights in the world, but if you have someone controlling your every single move, your every single thought, you know, how are you supposed to move forward and be able to make decisions about your own life or even move freely in your life, you know?
Yeah. Even like if you look at finances as well, when women talk about stuff like that, it seems very disgusting. Like you shouldn't be able to talk about finances. Well, when men talk about it, it's perfectly okay to say that
It's like grind culture.
I want to
and
make my
like,
own money.
I'm
I can
gonna
have
build an empire. Yeah.
Yeah.
But for women, it's like, that's really rude.
Yeah.
I can't believe you're bringing up how
vulgar.
much you get paid.
Yeah.
I can't believe you're comparing that to what I
Yeah.
get. Yeah.
And I think that's what puts in the control in a lot of these things as well, is that sometimes people say, well, if you actually want to be, I actually don't like this, you're too dominant. I want to have control over my money. Oh, you're too manly because that's a man's decision. I want you to take care of the kids more. I don't want to be the only person. You're not a great mother. And when men do it, it's just, oh my God, he's such a great dad. He's such a great husband. He wants to be a provider. While women, it's not the same thing. We're downgraded for wanting the same things as men. And I think that's very unfair. And I think that that's why a lot of women find themselves in the situation sometimes, is because we're punished for it.
Yeah.
And I think just on top of that, obviously I'm a trans woman, and it is something that I think about a lot, that when I think people are like, oh, you're a man or you're a woman, and I'm just trying to be seen as a person first and foremost. And with the exact same pressures and structures and suffering that all women are expected to go through, for trans women, there is an additional level that if I do not reach these expectations or meet these expectations, then I will not be seen as a person. That I am not just like defying gender roles or gender norms. It is my humanity that is on the line for some cases. And so it is just a case of dehumanization. And I think that applies to all women.
So, like, from your personal perspective, what do you think it's like being a woman in the world today? So, like, what is it like to be you online or in person? What are you hearing and what are you seeing and what are you experiencing as a woman in the world?
Oh, it's great fun. Oh, it's so much fun. I love just anytime I open my mouth, just slews and slews of comments and this, that and the other, and threats and this, and just for being. And like, it is a tactic that is used against anyone that sticks their head above the water, and anyone that doesn't. Because I'm not just a trans woman, I'm a loud and angry trans woman. And I am a trans woman who is confrontational, and I demand better, and I try to challenge systems. And so to some people, when you stand up for yourself and you stand up for your community and your loved ones, that feels like a personal affront to them. There is this conservative mindset that we don't have enough to go around, we don't have enough rights to go around, or we don't have enough joy to go around because we're all taught to expect less. But there is enough, and let's introduce this radical idea that we can all be happy and we can all be healthy. But when you go out and say that, for me, and just someone who's like who's loud and outspoken, like that still has a real effect on me. And when people are constantly, when I feel unsafe going around town, or I'm afraid that someone will recognize me or something, it is incredibly tough and incredibly challenging, and I'm sure my family are upset about it. But at the same time, there is no greater strength and no greater cushion of support than being in solidarity with each other and in coming together and recognizing that here they're very misguided. Here they're like they actually don't really know what they're talking about, and we have each other, because if we have each other, then no one can take that away from us. It's great crack.
Being a woman, great crack.
Yeah.
What about you, Destiny?
I think for me now it's very difficult, because now, I won't lie, I don't notice a lot of things because I actually don't care. Like I really don't care about how people perceive me as a woman. But some of the things I have noticed to get to this stage is that I think as women that we are always put into a box of the things that we deserve. And I think as someone like me who grew up in Nigeria and then came to Ireland, I seen like a very extreme version of it, where even education for girls is something that's not accessible because you're a girl. Like you cannot get an education. It's not seen as valuable. You can't bring anything to the table in the first place. And even when I came to Ireland, it was the same thing. I went to school, but my parents would be like, but what would you do with an education? You should just be at home. You should just want to be a mother. And there's nothing wrong with that, but I didn't choose that. But it was what was expected of me. And I think that that's still expected from a lot of girls today. And we see it in a lot of the red pill, like that's out there.
Yeah.
When it tells young girls, well, how dare you want a career? How dare you be loud? How dare you say you want more? You should just want what we tell you you should want. So I do think that there's a lot of pressure still put on young girls to look a certain kind of way, to act a certain kind of a way. And I don't think that's ever changed. I just think that unfortunately for young girls today, we actually have to get to a mindset where we have to just not let it bother us anymore, because some of these people, as much as we're fighting for it, they're refusing to change. And I think that the noise, you have to remove the noise.
Yeah, it's difficult
It's
to remove
so
the
difficult.
noise because, you have to be the perfect trans girl to deserve your rights. You have to be the perfect immigrant woman to deserve your rights. You have to be the perfect girlfriend to, be respected in your relationship. And like that noise is constant. Absolutely.
And you can and you should. You should be angry. Ask, who is it benefiting for me to be quiet?
Yeah.
But it is not beneficial for me. It's not beneficial for my friends, for my loved ones, or for anyone.
So then how does all of this, like everything we learn, everything we see, and like how it is to be in the world now as a young woman, how is that coming into dating and relationships? What are the kind of messages that you see?
I can only speak as a trans woman, but dating is something that is really complicated, and I think sometimes you are your worst enemy in that. I think as trans people, and in the representation of what trans love can and can't be, it's not great. There's not great representations where I could point to, where I could, when I came out to my mom, that I could point to as like I could have a happy life with someone and going forward, and that is something that you carry with you. And if I was to offer like red flags specifically for trans people, like it is going into relationships and they don't introduce you to their friends, or when you're going to meet the parents, they say, oh, well, I haven't said that you're trans, in that like that you are some kind of secret, and that you are, because you can't love or be loved like that. I know I'm not very quiet about it, but I want everyone to know I'm trans. I want to go into a space and know that I am safe and I'm comfortable, and I don't have to put on an act, and I don't have to perform femininity, and that I can just be myself.
Or be ashamed
Yeah,
of who you are.
Exactly. Or made feel uncomfortable, or that I'm making other people uncomfortable. And so I think in trans dating, I think we are fed this lie that, you aren't going, that no one is going to love you, and so you should date less. You should expect less.
Yeah.
Whereas that's untrue. And there are so many people that will love and do love you
Yeah. And you deserve someone who loves you just as you are.
without ifs, ands, or buts.
Yeah.
And like,
Celebrates you.
yeah.
Yeah.
And one that is dating, because they are dating a trans woman,
Yeah.
and like nothing's going to change that.
Yeah.
And so like I just need them to worry about being a good girlfriend or boyfriend,
Yeah.
and like that's it.
Shows play such a big factor in it. And something you said, Shine, was when you're talking about what's that guy that built a house for that girl that he was chasing around the place?
Oh,
The Notebook.
The Notebook. That just
Chasing around the
It's like
place.
John
Ding,
around
ding,
the corner,
ding.
he did that.
But because I used to watch that movie, I'm like, oh my god, this is so romantic. And then you
Yeah.
were talking about, I was like, oh my god, he is a weirdo.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
you know what I mean? Like,
This is basically the Shona Project. They have this Shine Festival, and I was on a panel, and I was talking about, you know, romance and love, and the like what we're kind of fed from like rom-coms and movies and pop culture. And basically the two leads, so there's Noah and Ali, and you know, Ali is actually on a date with another guy, but Noah she basically chases down Ali and like hangs off a Ferris wheel, demanding that she go on a date with him until she finally like, you know, gives in and says yes. And like
that is stalking.
yeah, it's stalking.
That is a red flag.
Yeah. Ding, 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 big red flag.
Yeah.
But like, of course she's going to say yes. He's hanging off a Ferris wheel, like threatening to like harm himself, you know, and then we're supposed to see this as like, oh, it's so romantic. And of course they fall in love and they're together in the end of this. Spoiler alert if you haven't seen The Notebook, sorry. But, you know, the thing is, and it feels so, I don't want to sound like condescending, but like we forget, like, these are not real. Like, this is a movie. Yeah, like, sorry.
The documentary, The Notebook. Is it real?
Yeah. But, you know, like, this is somebody that fictitious that somebody wrote. If somebody was to act like that in real life, it would be a very different ending.
Yeah.
It would not be the ending that we see in all the rom-coms of, you know, they fall in love and everything is wonderful. Because when someone acts like that is a choice. And that is a choice to try and control and manipulate another person. So
Which is not happy or loving or respectful.
or what you
It's
deserve.
abusive.
We're fed kind of all these things from pop culture and online now, you know, like especially on Instagram and kind of like the couple goals and things like that. It's
yeah, it's getting a saying like there's this new one. So remember years ago it was Andrew Tate. Everybody was like all young people obsessed with him. There's a new one. I can't remember his name, but he's very young. So
Okay.
he was on like 18, 17. And what he would do would take girls that are very insecure, bring them on camera, and then like change their face. And what he actually injects their face and he dates them. And he tells them, I'm going to make you beautiful. I'm going to make you desirable. I'm going to make you what every man desires you to be. This is what a girl should be. And there's literally people in the comment being like, my girlfriend should be like that. That's how I'm going to. And it's so bizarre. It's so bizarre.
It is shocking.
Because
yeah.
it's just like perfectly allowed.
And, you know, it's funny because then, like, you see videos like that and people are like, okay, but that's just online. Like, you know, that would never happen. But, like, there is, you know, young boys who are being fed these, like, this is the algorithm that's being pushed to them.
Yeah.
So this is the stuff that's becoming more and more normalized. So then in their real life, in their normal life, that's how you see all those kind of more controlling behaviors coming in because they have, you know, they're taught this entitlement to, you know, that my girlfriend should be this, it should be, you know,
And
this
it is
that.
extreme. And but in the normalizing of that extreme, it allows for more behavior like that. I think like hearing that, I was like, it reminded me of so many stories of like men trying to like pressure particularly trans women in that like, you must be presenting a certain way because you are embarrassing me or you are not, or that you are somehow like letting me down and I'm making a sacrifice here.
So we're told we have to look a certain way to be dateable, in quotations, or to be loved, or to, you know, even just have basic human respect. Also is what happens in abusive relationships. It's that minimizing your feelings, minimizing, hey, that doesn't feel good for me. I don't feel respected. I don't like the way that made me feel. And it's like, well, why should I care? Or but that's your problem to deal with. This is an individual thing, but it's something that's happening and it is like taking root and it is making women's lives harder and it's making it harder to I don't know. I don't want to say it's making it harder to find healthy relationships.
Well, it is.
But it is. It is, because if men are getting the messaging that it's okay to dominate, it's okay to control, it's okay to tell your girlfriend how you need to look, how you need to present, how you dress, how you spend your money, and then women get the message that you just need to listen, and you just need to be quiet, and you just need to just put up with it.
And that's completely accidental.
Yeah, exactly.
I think for me, it's the thing about, oh, but he chose me, and accepting that. A lot of people think that, oh, he's done this, but like he's choosing me and I might never get chosen. What I want, nobody will put up with that. And it's very unhealthy of thinking that you don't deserve more. And it's people getting you to believe that. So that's the biggest red flag that I see.
Yeah, we hold like romantic relationships so highly, don't we? Like it's like that's your measure of success, especially for women, because you know, what are we told about like the single woman, like, you know, later in life she's the old hag, or she's
a crazy cat lady.
She's the crazy cat lady, you know? Yeah, that it's like, seeing if you're not in a relationship, you're a failure basically. But actually it's okay to be single, and like it's lovely to be in a relationship, a healthy, you know, respectful relationship, but also it's okay to be on your own, and it's a good thing. It's not the be all and end all for that to be the goal. What does a healthy relationship then look like for you? What would be kind of your like non-negotiables?
For me, it's I don't want to play a role. I am trying to be two people who are independently working together on this thing that they have together.
Yeah.
And I think like I'm not interested in like, oh, you have to perform certain tasks or you have to do this, that and the other, which I know sounds quite silly to say, but there definitely is a resurgence on this kind of gendered view of the world.
Absolutely.
And like even within the trans community, that there is, I must be like, in order to affirm myself, I must be the perfect boyfriend or I must be the perfect girlfriend. Whereas like, you just have to be yourself, girl.
Yeah.
Like you just have to be yourself, and you just have to have care and compassion, and because that's what makes the relationship work, and it makes it an enjoyable time.
Yeah, and that's what's romantic, is like you can be yourself and enjoy each other's company. Like the things we're taught is romance is you open the door because you're the boy, and I wear the pretty pink dress because I'm the girl.
You two can be a little clocky and still be lovable. Like, come on.
It makes it more interesting, you know? And I think all we want, you know, if you are in a relationship, is to be seen, you know?
Yes.
To be seen and accepted as you are. And like that doesn't have to be this rigid role. It actually makes it way more interesting and exciting for you to be two, you know, weirdos who love that other weird thing in the other person and see that and accept that and celebrate that.
Yeah, me and my boyfriend, we bonded over our shared love of George Michael.
Oh my God, incredible.
A gay man. And I was like, that's the role I want to play.
Destiny, what about you? What's like the kind of green flags that you'd be seeking or searching for?
I think for me, respect. I think I would say respect is more important to me than love. I think that comes second, but respect is more valuable to me, because I think when somebody really respects you, none of those boundaries will ever be broken in the first place, because you're going to disagree with people, you're going to have different opinions, but you can have a communication, you know, and I think that respect keeps it equal. When you don't, one is over above the other. So that's my green flag.
Yeah. Wow. And I think when the respect is there, the you know, conversations about boundaries are not like simple things like, you know, oh, actually, I want to bring myself to the cinema today on my own. I need some time alone, or whatever it is, you know, that doesn't become like a big thing. It's just like, yeah, no problem. You do you. You're both like, you know, really like confident, really badass and very inspirational women. You know, what's helped you build confidence?
For me, like, you are expected to look a certain way, talk a certain way, act a certain way. And for me, the radical self-love of just being like, I just have to do it my way. Speak higher, and I used to make sure I was always glam, and like, I'm wearing all men's clothes today. And like, if I can go outside with the only person I'm concerned about is me and the love I have for myself and my comfortability and my and my joy, then that is all that matters. And the radical idea that I am enough and that I don't have to be more for anyone else, because all I know how to do is be myself. And so that's all I got to do.
There's this quote, I'm not going to quote it perfectly, but it's like, now that you don't have to be good, who will you be?
Yeah.
And it's just like having that, like, you don't have to fit into these boxes. You don't have to be the perfect woman. You don't have to be anything other than who you show up for, and be the person that excites you, and be the person that, like, the hobbies that you do are because it makes you have a good time.
I have never dated anyone until I knew who I was. And I think that's really important, to know who you are, because then nobody can tear you down.
Yeah.
You know, and that's something I've always kept, because I'm always like, you can't tell me I'm too much. I don't believe that, you know, because I've had the whole journey of not being afraid to be by myself. And I think that that's the biggest fear. People are afraid to be by themselves because then they have to get to know themselves.
Yeah.
Well, to wrap up, on every episode, we try to end with something hopeful, because, you know, it can be really difficult to talk about the weight of being a woman in the world today. So is there something that gives you hope for young women and girls? And if so, what is it?
What gives me hope, especially, I guess I'm just going to speak out the trans community, in that, like, there's so much oppression and there's so much suppression of trans people and trans identities and trans ideas, that I just love someone who is just being themselves, that they are confusing, that they don't make sense, and that is fine.
Yeah.
And I think, like, for me, in my understanding my own femininity and my own relationality to womanhood, like, getting to see that there actually isn't just one way to do it. We, and I mean we in the broadest sense possible, of anyone who marches to the beat of their own drum, have always been here and will always be here.
Yeah.
Yes.
And deserve to be here and take up
Yes.
space. Yeah.
If anything, we take up too much space. Like,
For me, I think it's the fact that we've just never given up. I think there's been a lot thrown at us, even from this year. There's been a lot thrown at us. And women, we just always keep fighting for ourselves and keep saying that, no, I deserve to have something for myself. And I think that that's what is so important. It gives me hope to see the women that are paving the way today. That is what hope is all about. And is what's going to help us carry on the journey that we'll still have to fight for.
Well, I could say the same for both of you. You know, you've dealt with your fair amount of adversities, and look at the both of you, you know, like all the things you've achieved, but also the fact that you both use not just like your platforms, but like your lives and your voices to help other women and to drive forward human rights. Like, it's incredible.
thank you, and same to you. I think To and To You is such a valuable campaign that showcases that, like, in the most basic of terms, consent is cool, and that, like, that we can have better and we can all strive to want better. And I think, like, To and To You puts forward this idea that is attractive and that, like, people want to get behind and people want to be a part of. And I think, like, thank you guys so much for all the work that you do for all women and beyond.
I think it's very important to know that it's never too late to get the help as well, because somebody could be watching this and they're like, oh, well, I've already experienced these things that you're talking about. Maybe it's too late for me. It's never too late. And that's what this is about as well, that it's okay to be like, I've been through these things, but I actually really need help.
Yeah.
I want to get out.
Yeah. Okay, very last question. I know I said we were wrapping up. In maybe one sentence, what's something you would like to tell your younger self about growing up as a woman, about dating, but just what's something you wish that you knew as a younger version of you?
All I would say is just, I love you and you've got this, because every skill and tool that you need is at your disposal. You just have to do it.
This is going to make me right.
Yeah.
Oh, what would I say? I was bald at the time, so I can't even say you had really great hair. 'Cause I didn't.
Really great bald head.
I think for me, because especially with my childhood, I would say that it is okay to be angry. Even if people want to call you that angry woman, that angry child, that is what's going to make you strong and open those doors for you and have the respect for yourself, is the fact that I could say, no, this is not what I want. I want something different. So I would always say to myself, keep being the person that you are, because that's why I'm sitting here today and I don't have a man. Joking. But I think that...
But you have 4 degrees.
Exactly. And you can't take that away from me.
No.
Nope.
But I think that who I was is a very important character. And I think a lot of people try to destroy that. And I'm so happy that I didn't allow that to happen.
Wow.
Incredible. Thank
Guys,
you.
You are just phenomenal. Like, thank you for everything that you do. Thank you, obviously, for coming on the podcast, but for everything that you do for young women in Ireland. I think you're so inspirational and you're paving a path for so many girls to see themselves in other people's experiences, but also to help drive women's rights and equality forward. So we're really, really grateful to have you both here today. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having us.
So incredibly happy that we got to speak to the two of them. Like, we asked them what gives them hope. They give me hope.
Oh yeah, big time.
Blown away. And I think something that we kept coming back to in that conversation is that it's okay to be angry and it's okay to be loud.
Yeah.
But even to expand on that, like, it is okay to be you.
Yes.
And you should be celebrated for that. You should be accepted for that. And I think if that is, and I know I say this at the end of every episode, if there's one thing you learn from this, it's that you deserve to be you.
Yeah, for someone not to try to change you or tell you that you have to be smaller or quieter, or that how you are or show up is unacceptable or embarrassing. Like, yeah, it's just, you can be you, and you don't have to be perfect. It's like, you can be messy, you can be imperfect, you can be still figuring it out, you know. And if you're going out with someone, that somebody meets you where you're at and they accept you for who you are and like where you are as well.
Yes, exactly. And happy International Women's Day.
Happy International Women's Day. Text the women in your life who inspire you and who make you feel hopeful and that you're grateful for, because we forget sometimes to tell each other, you know, there's so much that we deal with in the world now, and there's a lot of heaviness out there as well at the moment, like all the time, but particularly, you know, the last couple of years have been really tough. So do tell the women in your life that you're grateful for them and that you love them, because we need to hear it from each other, you know. And to remind each other of it. But there is so much hope, and I think Jenny and Destiny are such a good reminder of that we have a long way to go, but there are so many amazing women out there fighting a good fight. Thank you to everyone for listening. Remember, if you're worried about your own relationship or even a friend's relationship, you can call the Women's Aid 24-hour national free phone helpline on 1800 341 900 or use the chat service at 2into.ie. Both are free and completely confidential.
Make sure you follow the 2 Into You podcast wherever you get your podcasts. A new episode will drop the first Monday of every month. So we'll see you next time.